Chapter 8 Killing Words. Ella knocked at me. She at first thought the girls were teasing us. She immediately got down and wiped me, then witnessed the dream coming true. However much I had hated Ava, what she did that day made me forget everything. She fully embraced Arrow, who got a chance to engulf her with his arms. It was unanticipated. Arrow was not as excited as expected. His eyes focused on Ivy's beauty. He first saw her when drunk in the night lights. Here came a chance to discern what the rest saw in the broad daylight. Ivy was thrilled to catch a glance at him according to her attention, as he whispered in Ava's ears. "You are so beautiful," while eyes stuck onto Ivy. Ava had a lot to ask him, however. He put an excuse that he had to go. She tightly held him with comfort, then asked him if he would show up in the evening at the cafe. Arrow calmly replied that he would make it. He greeted Ivy, then entered the car. The two remained there discontented about Arrow's weird demeanor. He was so low walking with a broken heart. Maybe they were right. Not really. Arrow felt ashamed of what he had done that night in front of the woman he loved. He discarded his line, then cut off visiting her. It became simple to dodge her since she did not know where he resided. They moved inside and shopped while discussing Arrow's gentility of late, as Ava admitted that he was so tender. He was not like the other knave she met in the city. She could not wait seeing him again. I drove my precious, laughing. We saw pretty girls yearning for Arrow. I stopped the car and turned to him. He was combing his mustache with fingers. He did not know why the girl drove him crazy every time he saw her. Ella proposed that it would be sweeter if Arrow met Ivy first, for the girl looked more charming. We laughed at once. The girl was good for outings and love-making, not for marriage. I insisted that Arrow deserved a less educated woman who would respect him as a man. That was my theory. I had not seen many white boats as Arrow, but had much experience about women. I told him that most of the highly educated women never cooked. He simply looked down. I know he never wanted to argue with me, for he had already made up his mind. We have to believe that education today has single-handedly killed the marriage institution. A highly educated woman equates herself to a man, and at the end, no one cares after the other. Look at the stability of educated couples. If it does not break up in its early stages, the man is often unhappy and keeps quiet all the time. At the end, he gets another woman with a low level of education, probably the housemaid, who can love him with respect. When with such a wife, the man is rest assured of a home, not a court, for this woman will never question him often. We cannot rule out the fact that the husband is the head of the family, but you find wives crossing borders to an extent of naming the children. Arrow wanted a woman with whom they would discuss developmental issues and forgot that he was yearning for his opponent who was ready to do anything to be in charge of the home. He had no idea that such an educated woman respected one thing, her money. I have seen more formal families breaking up than informal ones because men usually face disappointments from their wives. Marriage is like life. It's about being happy with a partner, nothing else. I know Arrow had another view, but he was wrong. He was never happy with his wife inside the house. Maybe his wife was simply ill-mannered. Yes, she was. Anyway, where were we? I had been with a woman. I knew them very well. A woman is a person who cries while enjoying. Her no is yes. She should not make me decisions. I mean, my no is a no. When I tell her what I want, it must be done. When you relax, she takes you for granted. Children are what you make them, and so women. I believe Aaron never wanted me speak with generalization traits. He did not know that books were theoretical, far different from reality. Evening came. Aaron boarded to the cafe where he met Ava. She had left work early. Aaron, should I call this a date? Ava, not really. I'm dating someone. Aaron, Cassius. Ava, not anymore. He's Ali. Aaron, you change men like clothes. Good job. Ava, no, like pads. Aaron, so who is your next pad? Ava, come to the washrooms in 5 minutes and I'll show him to you. She walked straight to the ladies' corner from where she called Ivy that Aaron had finally turned up and was seeing him soon. She waited for 700 seconds in vain. The man remained seated. This astonished her, for no man had ever turned the offer down. She went out pissed and passed by him without saying a word. She felt disappointed as Aaron proudly played FIFA. He never showed concern. He knew she was dancing in the jaws of a hippopotamus. However, he was wrong. Ava never looked back. Days rolled minus communication from her. Aaron felt it. He began missing her seriously. One evening, he went to open up an account from the same bank Ava worked. He wanted to see her in return. He filed the application form, then peeped at her through the glass door. She could not lift the head up since she was busy writing. He resorted to staring at her in admission of his choice. He submitted the form and stood outside the door of her office, then moved out. He did not know what to do. At the same time, Ava felt something strange and got out of the chair, then moved around the bank. She reached the door and went back. Aaron made up his mind and stormed Ava's office, then stood in front of her. She saw him and felt the heart racing like a hare under a leopard's attack. When she tried to write, the pen slipped to the floor. She remained static, with eyes watching him walking to her seat. He pulled and turned the chair to face him, then squatted where she was with hands holding the chair handles. Ava, the most bored, was breathing with tension depicted by the movement of her chest. Her roaring eyes suddenly pointed still at his that shone with charisma. Burning feelings warmed the atmosphere in the office when he spoke. I am Aaron Z, son of Light Z, bending down below you, Ava Flame, to tell you that I feel something for you. Many words have been said to sway you. They promised you everything, gave you a lot, but I promise one thing money cannot buy: my loyalty. I'll be faithful to you and make the best husband to you. Be my wife. She lifted her eyes to the cameras and pushed him away, then called the guards. Almost everyone was watching. Most of the workers had run to the CCTV control room to catch every event of the movie. Arrow did not wait to be dragged out like idler. He walked to the door, then he cast smiling eyes at her and said, "You are so beautiful." He walked out, leaving her bending on the table. Co-workers were already in support of Arrow's bravery. They pressed bets on Arrow's return, while others said Ava was going to move out. Some said nothing was going to happen. They waited for a few minutes. Ava remained on the table smiling. She visualized how he spoke in her head and stood upright. She felt ashamed and went straight to the door as her fans happily supported. The movement of her body. Oh, she was so beautiful. The moment she opened the door, Arrow arrived. Both had a loud applause from the control room. Chapter 9.